Yeah, hi, can you hear me better? Am I audible? Oh, okay. Let me know once you hear. Yeah, am I audible now? Hear my voice? Clear disturbance వస్తుందట. Not sure. ఆయనకి అర్థం కావట్లేదు, నాకు అసలు అర్థం కావట్లేదు. What is the disturbance అని. But I don't see that. Disturbance వస్తుందట వాయిస్లో. Sorry. Yeah, sorry for the viewer, so we're checking it. Yeah, already done by removing everything from the start. So yeah, the seems a technical issue. I'm not sure what stage we are trying to because everything is perfect, but you guys can hear me better right now. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Practically. This is Synopsis Length. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, there seems some issue with the technically the voice glitch. Uh, we have tried all the steps as you people are trying to mention that like resyncing all the cables and also I'm not sure, but we're just trying to confirm that. So, so good thing. Okay. Yeah, I have done that. Okay, remove that. I've removed it. Yeah, am I clear right now? Is my voice clear right now? Yeah, am I clear now? Oh, okay. I just removed that. Is that okay? Okay, fine. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for confirming it. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Video stopped. Obviously, video. Okay, okay. Just I need to delete that one, right? No, you see my screen. Remove. Here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Remove the. Yeah, yeah. It is showing that remove video capture device. Yes. Yeah, it's done. It's removed, right? Okay. Okay. The device. OBS or something. We need to check the device, right? Logitech. Yeah. Okay. And that's it, right? Any settings we need to do? Resolution. Okay. Yeah, but it's in the other place. It's the top. Yeah, yeah. Trying to. Uh, Actually, I don't have it, I guess. Yeah, yeah, I'm dragging it. Yeah, yeah, I've done that. Is that okay? Okay. Hmm. Yeah, right click, right? Okay. we need to add something. Okay. Video delay. Compressor expand gain. No, okay. If it becomes compressor expander gain invert. Yeah, it's a video capture device and we got filters, right? Is that the same? It's not available. Yeah, compressor expander gain invert polarity limiter noise gate noise suppression video delay. Okay, yeah, got deleted, right? Do you see that it got deleted? Is that okay? Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, hello. Am I audible? Yeah, sorry for the technical issues where seems an issue with the video also. Yeah, no problem. We'll continue with this today. Yeah, I guess. Thank you very much. Thanks for understanding. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about logline and synopsis. See, what exactly the logline? Because we have already discussed, few things. Story element, how to write a story. In order to write it, we need few elements. We have already discussed those elements, and we are talking about a logline. Okay, so logline is nothing but a kind of a teaser of the movie. You might have seen many movies. You can call it a logline, which is a kind of teaser. Uh, the whole story, whatever the story you have, like if it is a 2 hours or if it is a 2.5 hours or like a movie, maybe if it is 100 pages or 200 pages book, whatever the book or whatever the movie you have, the whole story you're saying that in 2 to 3 lines. The whole story you are concluding that in a 2 to 3 lines. That is called a log line. So why we use this log line? First of all, we yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll go further. Why we use this log line? So log line is nothing but it's called a elevator pitch. What is this elevator pitch? Elevator pitch is nothing but a person, if you don't have time, See, one person wants to listen your story, but if they don't have time, what they will do, they will give you a 1 minute of time. Just tell me what is your story about. So at that point, you need to say that you cannot say your whole story, your 2 hour story, within a 1 minute. So in order to below 1 minute, I can say, in order to say that, you need logline to write. So this will really helpful. So how it will helpful, or how to write it, and we will come to know that, because we need to set up or show the main character, and as well as the central conflict. We already discussed about types of conflicts and all. So we need to talk about a conflict, and as well as antagonist, what exactly they are trying to do. Okay. So we have primarily 4 elements in order to create a log line. So it's very simple, guys. Logline is nothing but we are trying to convey our whole story within a 2 to 3 lines. So first one is protagonist. Who is protagonist? What is he doing? And next one is inciting incident. In the last session, we discussed about inciting incident. So what is inciting incident? Inciting incident is nothing but the incident which would occur before the plot, or before the act one, or we can say a story is turning into some other world or some other place. So before going into that place, we have something called a scene which is doing that. So that is called the inciting incident. Okay. Protagonist, inciting incident, protagonist goal. We already discussed that. What is the protagonist goal? It could be a conflict, because without having a protagonist goal, so there is no movie. If he doesn't want to, if he or she doesn't want to reach his goal, so there is no movie at all, or there is no story at all. And what is the central conflict? Goal, and as well as main conflict. What are all the hurdles he is facing, he or she facing? So that is called a log line. So this is actually a log line formula. So logline is nothing but I'm just giving an example of Star Wars Episode 4. The logline that is actually a title of A New Hope. So when an optimistic farm boy discovers that he has powers, and he teams up with other rebel fighters to liberate the galaxy from the sinister forces of the Empire. So this is a logline. So how to write a great log line? We'll discuss about it, because log lines, we have different types of log lines. For example, a protagonist point of view, there is a log line, and an antagonist point of view, there should be another log line. So see, log line is nothing but you're trying to sum up your story within a 2 to 3 lines, as we discussed. So now we'll come to know that how to create a great log line. So we have different points to create it. So first one is identify the protagonist. So before starting the log line, before writing a log line, you should know that who is your protagonist, what is his physical information, where his strongest information, like the qualities or abilities. He's very good at any of the sports, or he is very good at his creativity. So you're trying to inform, or you're trying to give an information about your protagonist. So, and the next one is, protagonist is main. Obviously, we discussed that he is the main key person, or the main role, he or she. Okay, and describe the inciting incident. So we already discussed that what is inciting incident is. Inciting incident is the scene or the situation, how it occurs, like how the story will go to another world, the next world. See, protagonist is happy-go-lucky guy in the one of the phase, then how he's going into another phase. That is actually, before going into that phase or that world, we call it inciting incident. Okay. And next point is highlight your protagonist goal. So how to highlight it? Because we need to write it in such a way, one person, he wants to do something. What exactly motivates? Okay. What is his goal? So what he wants to become? He's like as I've told you, one person, he's doing a job, a regular or monotonous job, you can call it, from 9 to 6. But he wants to become a storyteller. That is his goal. So what are all the hurdles? What exactly the central conflict? So next point is central conflict. What is central conflict? Overall story. There is definitely a one conflict, as we discussed in the conflict class. We discussed that definitely there should be a conflict, because in order to achieve something, it's not easy to achieve. Okay, so we need to write down what are all the possible ways to get his reach his goal, and what are all the possible ways to get all the obstacles. The obstacles are nothing but where what exactly the hurdles he is getting it in order to reach the goal. Maybe it comes from the antagonist. Maybe he's got some issues with another natural calamities. We just discussed conflict, natural calamities. Maybe we can call it a creature, would be the conflict, like Godzilla movie. So we have different types of conflicts where it comes, and it is actually giving all the hurdles to protagonist to reach his goal. So this is actually about logline. So logline is simple, and we already discussed about the logline, which is very simple. You're trying to sum up your story within a 2 to 3 lines and make them, understand the person who asked for your story. Hey, what is the story? Then you can say that within 2 to 3 lines, because if they don't have a time. So now we'll talk about synopsis. What is synopsis? Logline is a teaser. We just discussed that logline is a teaser of the movie, and synopsis is nothing but a trailer, something, extend version of logline. Okay, what is the extend version of logline? See, synopsis is nothing but why. Okay, first we'll talk about why we need synopsis, because the same reason we discussed about logline. If one person, he wants to approve your book, a publisher, you call about a publisher, we need to send it to the publisher to read that book, and then only they will publish the book. This is the process. The similar way, a producer, you are going to narrate a story to the producer, then only he will produce your movie. Okay, so in order to do that, they need to listen your whole story. Like if it is 2 hours of story, or if it is a 2.5 hours, or if it is 100 pages book, they need to read completely. But if they are very good publishers, I mean very popular publishers, or if they don't have time to read completely your 100 pages or 120 pages of script, what they will do, they will ask you to send a synopsis. A synopsis is nothing but it's also sum up the story within a 1 page, or maybe 1.5 page. It should not, more than 2 pages. So ideally it should be 1 page or 1.5 page. You're trying to sum up your whole story in that 1 page. Okay, so we will discuss it right now, how to write a synopsis. It's very important to write a synopsis, because it's not that easy to write in a shorter form. If you see that any ad, you might have watched any of the ad films, right? It comes in a 30 seconds, but it's very hard to portray their ideology in 30 seconds, because they are telling you one story itself in that 30 seconds or 40 seconds ad. So that is very difficult. So what you're going to do is, you will get this by doing a practice. In order to practice it, how to write a synopsis, you should know that how to write, what are all the points we need to discuss in the synopsis. Okay, so what are all the points we need to discuss in the synopsis? So the first one is length of the synopsis. That is very, very important. Keep your synopsis, as I've told you, which should be 1 page. If it is more than that, maybe you can make it like 1.5 page, or it should not be more than 2 pages. That is a maximum. And tone and voice. What is tone and voice? You're writing it, right? So how you can get a tone and voice? So your movie synopsis or your book synopsis should be written in present tense, third person. Okay, tell the story in the same tone and voice of the script, so that other people, like the person who is listening to your synopsis or reading your synopsis, they'll come to know that, okay, this is what the synopsis, this is what the whole story about. So whether he will decide that he'll be going to publish your book or produce your story or the movie. So by reading or listening to your synopsis. So another point is characters. So make sure you're introducing the character, the physicality, the features, and as well as you are giving some information about the main protagonist or main character. Okay, and another thing is dialogue. It's very, very important. See, you are not going to mention all the dialogues, because that will be like ending up with the more than all. I mean, you can't do that in 1 page. Maybe it will come in more than 10 pages. So you no need to write all the dialogues in it. So what is the point of writing a dialogue? So we need to, it's not that we need to write the whole paragraph with the dialogues and all, but you need to give a introduction, or you need to give an idea about this type of dialogues I'm including. It's just a short burst. So you need to give some idea about a person who is reading that a synopsis. He or she would come to know that, okay, this is the type of dialogue you're writing in the whole movie or whole story. Okay, and the next one is the ending. This is very, very important. You're writing a synopsis, and if you're not ending it, because sometimes what we think about is, we will give a question mark. I mean, open-ended questions kind of thing. What is open-ended? It's like some of the synopsis would be ending like this way. For example, a boy meet a girl, and they both fall in love, and after that they had some issue, they got separated, and then after that some other issue, I mean some other events happen, and they're trying to they both want to get separated only. But is it whether they're going to separate, or will they get married? So it's like a kind of question mark you are leaving it. So please do not use any question marks or question mark related kind of open ends, because you're trying to sum up the synopsis. It's for just a gist of a movie or gist of a story, because your whole story you're trying to sum it up in a 1 page. So make sure you're giving it the complete information about your story. And next one is you should start with the active drive. What is active drive? Because it's not that you are trying to say many things, you may not end up with the 1 page. So it's better start what you want to, and it should be clearly explained that what main character or what the protagonist wants, what he is looking out for. Okay, and next one is establish casuality. It's a casualty means nothing but you have you're trying to convey this film or convey this story in one of the vacuum. You call it a kind of one genre. We also call it a genres, right? We discussed about genres. So we are trying to convey that we are trying to convey that, okay, this is the second paragraph. For example, this genre is, it's a sports genre. So we are trying to convey that protagonist wants to become a sports person, and he wants to reach a goal of his what exactly his goal is, like he wants to be he wants to go for the nationals. He is giving a training. So this is like, you need to establish the mood. Okay, what exactly you're trying to say, that is you have to establish in the synopsis. And first one is, I mean, the other one is start big and end bigger also. Because when you're starting it, see, we are trying to impress with our story anyone, be it a publisher for the book, be it a producer for the film. You're trying to impress him with your product. What is your product? Your product is nothing but your story. So start in a very good manner. In a sense, the excitement should be there. Sir, synopsis is like script of the story. No, it's not a script, Himanshi. This is actually within a one page. You're trying to, convey your story. It's not a script. Script is 120 pages, 100 pages. That is script, we call it. It includes everything, dialogues, everything. Synopsis is just a sum up of your story. Okay. Yeah, we'll take your questions. Don't worry. So we are starting a big, and we should end up with a bigger actually. So that is the person who is reading it, they should have excitement. They should have that, okay, this is what, this seems really good. He or she wants to read the whole script. As we discussed, the whole script is nothing but 100 pages or 120 pages, 150 pages. By looking at this one page, he should decide that it's very interesting, I want to read the whole script. That is how you, as a writer, you need to create in such a way. What are all the don'ts? We use it in a synopsis, because we need to eliminate most of the things, because one 100 pages or 120 pages. So we need to make it in one page, means we need to cut a lot of things. So what are all the things we can avoid it? So we need to know that. The first one is, don't mention too many characters. See, for example, you have 10 characters in your story. So you should not mention all the characters in the story. So you need to mention main characters. What you feel like the story is revolving in this particular main characters, like 2 characters or 3 characters. So you need to specific on those characters or mention those characters only, because if you mention all the 10 characters, it will become like kind of it will be like almost more than 2 pages. It will be exceeding, and the person who may not get interest on that, maybe he gets confused by reading all the characters. So better keep it crisp. Whatever the main characters you have, you need to mention it. And the next one is, don't use too much of detail about your plot twists, whatever the turns you have. See, what are the plot twists? We already discussed about a 3-act structure, which is plot point 1, plot point 2, plot point 3. So all the twists and turns, you should not mention everything here. So why we should not mention means, it will be like revealing your whole story. But what exactly we are trying here, by sending a synopsis, we are trying to grab their attention. So they want to know the whole story. That is what our main motto. And don't rush to the end. This is very important, because as we are discussing about a synopsis, what are all the goals? So don't rush to the end. because if you're going to complete end of the story, so that is like first of all you need to know that what exactly the beginning, what is the middle you want to say, and what could be the end. So you need to give that in a proper way. Don't rush to directly, okay, this is what he will do and how he achieves it. You should not go like this. I guess you are getting my point. Okay. So this is how we write a synopsis, and this is how we write a log line. So these two things are very, very important when you're writing a story, because maybe one of your friend might ask you, he or she doesn't have a time to read all your script, the complete story what you have written. So maybe they will ask you, hey, what is your story about? Maybe you can say that within a log line, within a 2 to 3 lines, they will come to know, oh, okay, this story is about sports, or this story is about political, or this story is about educational. So that is what they will come up with, the one idea, what is your story. And we need to fill this type of details in the synopsis. What are all the details? What makes my world interesting? Because when I'm writing a synopsis, I'm creating a world, and I'm inviting a person to read that, or maybe I can say listen that. Maybe I can say synopsis in a voice also. I mean in a verbal also. So what makes my world interesting? In order to make it interest, what are all the options I have? And why will a reader care about my protagonist? Because in the very first paragraph, you can consider it, if it is a one page or 1.5 page, you can consider it 3 or 4 paragraphs total of synopsis. So in that three to four paragraphs, why my reader needs to consider my protagonist? Because I have given an introduction in the first paragraph, what he wants, how is his physicality, he or she, and what he's trying to do. So these are all the things which would be about a protagonist. And who is my villain? And who is my sidekick? We already discussed about, it's a friend or love interest, or the person who is, we already discussed these things when we are talking about characters, different types of characters. Love interest is nothing but a lover, and sidekick is nothing but a person who is next to protagonist and giving him a moral support. So that is called a sidekick. And how do they relate to my protagonist? So all this world, how it actually relates to my protagonist, and what is the moral gray area here? Because sometimes the protagonist is having a morality or moral things, I can say, what he wants to do, whether is it correct or not. He will get some kind of confusion kind of place also. It depends on the story. It's not that every story should have this. Okay. And what's at stake for my protagonist? Because the protagonist should have, already we discussed that there should be one conflict. So he needs to have one dream. So in order to reach the dream, he needs to do something. What are all the hurdles he is getting? So what exactly he is doing in that? Okay. So these are all the things you need to fill it up in the synopsis. And synopsis is very, very important when you are sending it to any person who wants to. This is like you are selling your story. Okay, you're selling your complete whole story, making it in 1 page or 1.5 page. And that's it, guys. Synopsis and logline today. And any questions? Yeah, I can see that few questions here. Yeah, Himanshi, synopsis, already I answered your question. That is not a script. Yeah, you can call it a shortcut of script. It's not exactly shortcut. It's sum up of your story, complete story. Yeah, you can say that, Shruti, summary of the story is also similar way, and synopsis is also similar way. Himanshi, what is the difference between logline and synopsis? As we discussed that logline is 2 to 3 lines. Synopsis is 1.5 page. 1 page or 1.5 page. Why we use that logline? Just to convey your story within a 2 to 3 lines. Synopsis is it's kind of you want to convey your story within a 1 page to reader to grab the attention of the readers. Yeah, what is the difference between logline and synopsis? Manvita, the same answer. Uh, Anyone got any questions regarding logline and synopsis? So we already discussed about story elements. So anyone is writing stories, by the way? Yeah, Himanshi. Actually, both means the same work in the sense both are trying to convey our whole story in short manner. In the sense that is for the 2 to 3 lines. Maybe you can say that to your friend also, anyone. But if you talk about a synopsis, you need to give a 1 page of story, we call it, or synopsis. They can read it if they are really interested to know that. So the whole story, they will read the complete story. So formula, there is no formula actually, Manvita, regarding synopsis. For logline, we have formula because that is only 2 to 3 lines. See, synopsis is not, actually depends on your story, what type of story you're trying to say, and how you are narrating. It's a linear format only. Linear means you're trying to say that from the beginning to end. It's not that non-linear. We call it a non-linear screenplay or story. Like the end of the story, you're trying to say that in the first paragraph or first scene. So that is how you're trying to play the story. That is called a non-linear. Linear means you're trying to say that from the beginning of the story. One person or one boy, he has born and he's like 10 years old. What happened? 20 years old. What happened? That is how you're trying to say the story. That is called a linear. So most of the times we need to write a synopsis in the linear manner only. Uh, there is no formula for the synopsis. You need to enter, I mean, you need to fill all the details, what we have discussed so far. All the points should be there in that synopsis. Yeah, Jay, please write a story. That's really good. Start writing stories because we already almost completed the classes. So we got an idea about how to write a story, what are all the story elements, and dialogue part, and we call about the characters also, how to create characters. So everything, we got different types of stories and different types of genre. So we got all the information. So you are now, I can say, you got a better information to write a story. Uh, Himanshi, sir, which is used more, logline or synopsis? We need to use both. It depends on the other person. If he is giving you more time, you can try narrating your whole story itself. But synopsis and logline is nothing but if they don't have time, they want to just to know your story, we use this. David, I like write story. Yeah, please write stories actually. Manvita, sir, which affects the story much? See, this is not related to story actually. These two things. See, you have already written a story. This logline or synopsis, why we use it? You have already written one story. In order to sum up the story in particular 2 lines, that is logline we use. In order to sum up the story in 1 page, we use a synopsis. This is not impacting and there is no effect on story because you have already written a story. I guess I'm clear. Yeah, any questions, guys? Adichan, I wrote a story when I had exam. Yeah, I mean, don't skip your exams, or please concentrate on your exams, and do write stories, because you will come to know, you will get a creative thoughts. And as I've told you, the tip of writing a story is where 500 words to 1000 words. So you will come to know how to create it, or how to use it. Yeah, Manvita, you're welcome. Thank you very much. So, anyone got any questions? Oh, you have written it on English exam. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I got your point. Yeah, Himanshi, you have to write a story on in the exam you're talking about. Yes, yes. So we can get practice. You're right. Yeah, please do write it, so that it will improvise your creative skills also, your imagination or imaginary skills, and your you know uh, structure of story, we call it. That will improvise. So how to create a story, or how to write it. So you will come to know that. So anyone got any questions on this log line? And actually today I thought of making it a short session only. Somehow technical issues, it went in a anyway short session, log line and synopsis. So these are all the key elements. See, these things will help you after writing a story. Yeah, you have already written a story and you want to sum up it within a 2 to 3 lines. That is how it is. Sir Himanshi, sometimes it's written or write 200 to 300 word story. So how can you count all the words in story? See, there is actually a website you can say that. So no need to count it yourself. You can put that whole story in a 200. If it is a 200, 300 words, you can make it to 1000 words, right? So you can create it. You have an option to creation of the story, in the sense how to do that. As we discussed 3 points, one is you are including dialogues, second one is you are trying to include another character, and third one is you are creating a story itself. I mean, you're trying to say a story inside the story. So that is how you can do that. So if anyone has any questions apart from this regarding all the classes, you can ask any questions in the entire classes of all the sessions. You can. Yeah, that is what, Himanshi. If you have written 1000 words for 500 words, or how to count, means there is a website. You can Google it. You will come to know that how to check the word count. So you can mention that. You can mention your whole story in that website. It's an online thing where you can check that in the Google. It will give you count. See, this is the 100 words count or 1000 words count. Manvita, 3 act structure we call it. See, it's there in every story. First one is setup. Setup is nothing but we are trying to introduce the characters, their difficulties, what their goal is, and what they want. And second act two is confrontation. So confrontation is nothing but where exactly the character is going, or in order to reach something or achieve something, what he or she is doing. Okay, what are all the hurdles they are receiving? So we need to mention all those in in Act 2. Act 3 is resolution, how you are resolving your story. So this structure, 3-act structure, will help you to write a story. It's there in Ramayana everywhere. If you take any story, it's available in 3-act structure. Yeah, I guess I've answered your question. Yeah, thank you. So thanks, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask me, Manvita. If you have any questions, yes, I'll take as. I mean, I'm not getting any questions, so that is the reason I'm trying to end up the session. Adichan, thank you. Yeah, take care all. Thank you and bye.